Welcome back to the next installment of Confessions of a Wedding Band, brought to you by all of us here at the Martini Shot. This is a podcast where we document our shenanigans both on and off stage and discuss our originals. We are a local band out of Southern Colorado where we have 25 years of fun stories that we'd like to remember. Our first idea was to write a book, but since none of us know how to do that, Confessions of a Wedding Band was born. All right, we got everyone here in the band today. And let's go around for some introductions. My name is Brian. I'm the trumpet player for the band and the host of the show.
Hi, I'm Greg, and I play the drums.
I'm Rob. I play keys and saxophone.
I'm Brooke, and I play bass.
I'm Andy. I sing and play guitar.
I'm Steven, and I play guitar.
We're stepping outside a little bit out of the format of our usual podcast show to talk about a unique experience that we all have. We had a chance to play Red Rocks a couple of months ago.
Yeah, we did. I'm just going to go ahead and start off by saying thanks, Bri, for being relentless and putting all that effort into applying to try and be able to play Red Rocks for all those years that you put all kinds of time and effort into making that happen. I don't think that we would be sitting here talking about being able to play Red Rocks as a Colorado band without all of your work. So I just want to say thanks, bro. It's pretty dang cool.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
So from what you said that like you'd been kind of emailing them for like 10 years.
Yeah, about 10 years ago, I was just looking online and noticing that Denver Film does this event called Film on the Rocks, and they they do cult movies or fun movies where the crowd gets into it, and they have local bands open for the show, so it gives them experience. Shout out to Denver Film. Just incredible opportunities that they're offering local musicians to play the world famous Red Rocks, and so I saw that happening. And there wasn't any kind of an avenue to find out the contacts. So I would go into Denver Film and send emails every year during the winter time saying, "Hey, I know that you have local bands that open up for these shows. We're interested, and we have original music. We have cover. We also play cover tunes. Would you be interested in having us?" And silence for years. And a few years ago, then they finally started having a submission form online. And this is the year that I wrote them, filled out the submission form, which I've done again for several years. And this year they chose us. And it was that was a wild email to get say, hey, that we're interested.
It was a wild email for you to get, and then it was a wild reveal to all of us. What was it in a text? Is that
It was a group text.
Yeah. So I think you sent it in a group text. So like, don't get too excited and don't tell anybody, but it looks like we might be playing Red Rocks. And of course we're like, what? What do you mean we're going to play Red Rocks? And then, it was amazing and kind of surreal to be. We were kind of standing there. We were actually filming the documentary at my school, and he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, it looks like it's for sure. We're definitely playing Red Rocks. So get ready. You got 2 months. Don't tell anybody for a month, and then we'll see you in Morrison." It was pretty dang cool.
Surreal.
It's still surreal. It's kind of hard to believe that we did it.
It was completely like a dream in some ways because we only live like 2 hours away from it. And so all we had to do was pack our gear up, drive ourselves directly to the backstage, which was an incredible moment. Get the first-rate treatment, get an awesome experience, and then pack up and go home. The next day I was mowing my yard, like a normal person, So it was an incredible thing.
But with that amazing memory that our band that has been together for, a quarter of a century finally got to kind of knock something off our bucket list and play Red Rocks to a sold out crowd. It was phenomenal.
I
Yeah, I
can't.
think when I tell people that we did that, they ask a lot of questions like, well, who'd you open for, what, and they have to explain the situation, why we did it. And then I don't think, even I didn't realize the magnitude of how many people would be there. Um, I thought this might be something, well, obviously it's going to be great for us no matter what. But the fact that it was sold out, uh, that was that was amazing.
It sold out quick. I mean, so we were opening for Pirates of the Caribbean. So people love Pirates of the Caribbean, and so I mean, I'm sure a lot of people bought a lot of tickets because it was Pirates of the Caribbean. But I mean, we had a lot of friends and fans that were like, "Really? The Martini Shot's going to be at Red Rocks? I got to see that." Which was real heartwarming, to have a lot of people want to make sure they're there.
So we should probably tell our listeners like what Red Rocks is, because here we are all excited and think that everybody understands it. But I'm just going to give for our listeners like a quick
Yeah.
rundown of like what Red Rocks is. So it's an amphitheater and it's located near Morrison, Colorado, and it's a naturally formed, just amazing outdoor venue. It's renowned for its, just geological formation and the history of iconic musical acts like the Beatles, Grateful Dead. Just so many people have played there, and there are two 300-foot monoliths that basically the seating is in 70 rows. It holds about 9,000 people, a little over 9,000 people, and those two monolith rocks actually have names. One is called Shiprock, and the other one's called Creation Rock, and they frame the stage. And it's every professional musician's dream to go and play on that stage. And sometimes people that are definitely like more worthy of that honor don't get to do it in their career because it just doesn't work in their touring schedule, and or maybe they're not quite big enough to play it or whatever it is. But it was originally known as the Garden of the Titans, and it was in the 1800s basically when they discovered it and its natural acoustics. And so over the years, they envisioned this performance site and came to fruition. And in 1928, the city of Denver purchased this land from the Walker family, basically, who owned it and built it. So it opened in 1941, and when we were looking at all of the different performers who have played there over the years, I think one of the ones that just totally blew my mind was Igor Stravinsky played there. And I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, obviously I was at, I don't know how many of those shows, countless shows. We pointed at many shows that we went to, right, over the years. And I can't tell you what was the first one that I ever saw there. I can't remember. And I was trying to think for this cast. It's like, when was the first time I ever went and saw a show, and what one was it? And I think I've just seen so many shows there that I can't tell you. So,
I know my first show.
Really? Which one? What was it?
It was Ronnie James Dio, like in 1983. That was the first time I've ever seen a show at that venue, and it was incredible. I couldn't believe it when I was. Honestly, though, I didn't know that venue was that old until we got there and saw
I didn't either. Until we were
saw
reading
the
that
history.
list.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It was mind blowing to see all that, because I mean, to me, I thought, oh yeah, they probably built this in the 60s or, but I mean, that was, so that was my first show though. It was Dio, Twisted Sister opened up for them, and Accept was the opening band. And so, yep, that was my first concert at Red Rocks, man. 1980. I was still in high school.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
So in the backstage area, they have, like Brooke was talking about, these placards that kind of say every year and what shows happened during that year. And the first year that they ever had a show at Red Rocks was 1947. And that, I mean, I think that kind of blew our minds. And that did not include Igor Stravinsky. We thought it did that first one. It was the next year, 1948, that Igor Stravinsky played on April 19th in 1948. Igor
Arguably the
Stravinsky.
greatest,
Greatest
musician
romantic,
to ever
greatest
play that stage.
greatest romantic composer of the era.
We got to sign the wall, and if you don't know about the tunnel with all the signatures in there, but there's a tunnel from the stage that goes to the front of house area where the sound equipment goes for front of house, and everybody who plays there signs the wall, and it's got, I don't know, thousands.
There's so many signatures.
Thousands.
It's hard to even find.
Yeah,
it.
it's
The entire
You can't
tunnel.
even find a space.
You can pick out a couple here and there as you're looking, but it's
Yeah, I found
quite full.
Depeche Mode in one, and I was like, cool, dude. Love it. There's so many bands. I mean, just anybody and everybody. And the Beatles signatures were gone over, from the 60s. Like those are gone, which those would have been incredible. Somebody should have framed those and said, don't mess with these signatures.
Yeah.
But
A lot of cool photos. Not probably every band that's ever played there,
No.
but some really great photos that they have throughout the halls.
Everywhere. I mean, everywhere. They definitely spare no expense on making sure that every wall, as you walk around in that backstage area, they make it so you're at Red Rocks.
Right.
It's very special. Very, very special.
Yeah.
yeah, there's just a chronological lineage of shows that we've all experienced there. Like as we're walking down the hall, Greg and I are going, what Rush show is that? Because then we looked at it,
30th anniversary.
we're like, oh yeah, we were here.
Yep.
We saw that show, or there's Dave Matthews. I was there at that show, or there's Tom Petty. I remember that show, it was like just
That
so
Rush show though,
many.
we showed up a little bit late. Remember?
Oh gosh.
We're climbing up the hill, and we heard them start playing already, and I'm like, they started. So we ran up the hill.
For people who don't realize, you have to go up this ramp, and it's like hundreds of yards that you basically have to traverse, and you're already at a high altitude. You're already at 5280, and then you've got to go up these ramps, and so you suck wind when you get to the top. And Greg and I, we're not in the greatest athletic form either, so we were both sucking wind. And the only thing I remember was we got up there, and there's a beer station that's right there as you get right to the top, and Rush started jamming
playing. Yep.
right away, and Greg goes, I need a beer. And he just there was this poor little beer girl, and he goes, give me a beer. And this little girl,
What kind do you want? I
yeah,
don't care.
obviously she was over 21, but she was just a kid, and she's shaking, trying to hand us beers because Greg had freaked her out because we were so excited. We were screaming, and that's it. It's a spiritual place. It's a spiritual place, and so many amazing shows where everybody there, those 9,000 plus people, have this moment together. Just in that moment is where it exists. And I remember that before cell phones, when you just were in the moment, right? You weren't filming it, for later when you're not going to ever watch it again. You were just there like church. It was like a spiritual moment, right?
Yeah.
With all those people who love the same thing you love. Whatever
that's
band you're
exactly how it
into.
is.
I think
right?
the coolest part, we can all attest to this, it's no matter how many shows you go to, whoever it is, no matter how many times they've played that stage, they always comment it's
How beautiful it
it
is.
truly is one of the more beautiful places in the world to play.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I know if we said 9,000 people, it doesn't sound like it's very extravagant, but to be there and see it, even from the audience perspective, is pretty amazing.
It is.
Ooh, somebody should discuss what it's like from the stage perspective.
So, I
Got
mean,
video of it.
yeah, we have lots of video of it. So, we would love to show you. We've been loving to show people everything about this. But so when we got there, I'll start with just when we got there. And Red Rocks it's like a national park, so you had people that are just walking around in the stands.
People are
Yeah,
exercising.
they're exercising. A lot of people, I mean, they do yoga on the rocks. The Denver Nuggets do all kinds of workouts at Red Rocks. I mean, they run the hill, they do the whole thing. And one of the coolest things, especially for Brooke and I, being vocal music educators, there was a choir, a children's choir that had assembled. Their teacher must have assembled them in the middle of.
From like Asia or something, some other
Yeah.
country for sure.
It was
an
something
Asian
special,
country.
and we were like, "Well, this
Couldn't
must be
see
good
'cause they're so
luck."
far.
I mean, they were all the way up there, but this choir was there, and Brooke comes up to me and goes, "Well, that's got to be a good omen."
Oh, they were singing and it was
Oh, yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, they were just singing down to us, and yeah, it was a great omen.
And so obviously that's way before, they shut the doors and say, okay, everybody's got to go. We're going to get ready for a performance. And so we were there, in the early afternoon time to be able to witness everybody kind of running the hill and all that kind of thing. But of course, the first thing we did, every single one of us, when we got there, we went and walked to center stage and looked up. Because the cool part about Red Rocks really is that it's truly an amphitheater in that you're on ground level with front row.
Mm-hmm.
And then
It just goes up.
everything goes up. And so you're not on a stage really. A stage is where you're above the crowd usually, right? That's usually how that works. Not at Red Rocks. You are at the ground level with everyone else and everything goes up.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a sight to behold when even before you have people there. I mean, we were taking pictures the minute we got there at like 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yep.
Like, oh my goodness, like this is an amazing.
I took pictures right when we got out of the truck. We're walking in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling to stand on that stage and then look up and it just goes.
And when there's tons of people in there, it looks just like people are standing like on top of you almost.
It's
you
just
know?
a sea of
It's
people.
just a sea. Yeah.
It's an amazing scene. It really is.
Because we've played for 9,000, possibly more before,
Yeah.
but this seemed like, because you can see all the faces, all 9,000, because it goes straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if
we've
you're
been-
playing 9,000 from what I'll call a normal stage, is that everyone's covered, for the after the first, I don't know.
Well, I
quarter
mean, we've
mile or
played
so.
places like the Balloon Glow. We've been fortunate to play that a handful of times, and that's tens of thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
But this hit a whole different level. Just
Oh, absolutely.
That thing that they're all kind of on, most of them are on the same level,
Mhm.
even though there is a hill in the back. But this one, they're
Yeah.
a captive audience and they're looking right at you. They're not
Right.
spread out where they're have picnics going and stuff like that. I mean, you used to be able to have little picnics there years ago, kind of, but
Oh man, the stuff we used to take in.
yeah, they
Jungle juice.
they put an end to that many years ago. But so that's what I noticed was, we played to some big crowds, but every time we finished a song, there'd be like maybe a second delay, and then you'd hear the crowd roar.
Yeah.
And I've never heard that before anywhere else like that, and that was a total different experience. That rock star stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
And the weather was perfect. Like I've been there when it is pouring rain, or it's super cold.
And our luck is not good.
when it's like
Outdoor
105.
Rain shows at Red Rocks.
And the worst is when it's windy, because then all the sound gets swept, and you can't hear very well. So, I mean, for us to just have like that moment, which we already know that when we play outside, like we're not favored by the creator. He usually likes to dump on us, right? Like
to this day.
to this day.
But not that day.
Last Saturday.
Not that
For
day.
some
We were very
reason,
lucky, very
like the
blessed.
universe just said, let's let them have it.
It was about as perfect of a day as it could have been all the way around, I think, really.
So a couple things I wanted to just really make sure that we throw out there on this entire topic. Like one of the coolest things, like, so you roll up to Red Rocks, and of course we're thinking as we roll up to Red Rocks, like think about all the different times we've rolled up to Red Rocks and thought, oh, I can't wait to see this band. It's going to be cool. what a different feeling it was to roll up to Red Rocks and be like, the band is us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the band is us. So that
That's a
was,
sobering moment, isn't it?
yeah, it was kind of an amazing feeling. But what was even cooler is when you drive up and you go directly backstage, back up your truck or back up your vehicle, whatever it is, and then they have unionized roadies that work at Red Rocks, and they opened the back of the truck and they said, "Which side of the stage, sir?"
Yeah, that was pretty funny
That was
because like
amazing.
we're pulling up in our personal cars and vehicles, and the roadies are all like treating us with
I
just
thought it
like
was-
any
it was
other.
funny. We had
band.
Greg's cart we used for the drums. And
Yeah.
they roll up with this huge like
Flatbed, and
I
they
guess
did-
we don't need that.
I think they fit all our gear on
Yeah,
that
they
flatbed
did.
too. So.
And I guess I bring that up not only that it was cool for us to just have like roadies actually come and just move everything for us without question. They just were like, "Hey, okay, which side of the stage, sir?" Stage right. Okay, it'll be there, and it was there. But then they were so nice. I mean, just very nice. Wherever we wanted things, we told them where we wanted things, and then the monitor guy comes up to us and says, "So you guys are just a rock band with horns, right?" He goes, "Oh, because last night we had Halsey, and that was a pain in the ass. So I'm so glad to have a rock band with horns." He was so happy to have us there, and he was genuinely happy to mix us that night. It was so cool. I mean, and we're just showing up at Red Rocks like we're little kids in our dream, and this guy's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're here. This is going to be good."
And
was
he was
so cool.
super awesome.
They were so. I mean, all the security, we were really treated very well. It was pretty amazing.
Yeah, everybody was really nice.
Yeah. It's super accommodating to our families.
Oh man,
Yeah.
what a blessing to have that. Like,
yeah.
The backstage experience was something special. Just even like we were talking about those placards, and like you had every year and every show that was there. And I went and I found in 2004, I had taken my sister to see Incubus there. She loved Incubus in 2004. It was for her birthday. It was on her birthday. And it just so happened that they recorded a Live at Red Rocks show there.
We were
and
there.
so we were there. We were like, "Oh, this is cool." So I took a picture and I sent it to my sister. And she goes, "Hey, look at what's below it." Because it said Incubus, July 26, 2024. And below it, it said Film on the Rocks, whatever show they had and whatever band played for it. And she goes, "Yeah, you're going to be forever etched back in the backstage of Red Rocks."
That's a cool moment.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty dang cool moment.
So, Brian, you need to start sending in the applications.
Yes, we will. We will gladly go back.
I get the question a lot about nerves. A lot of that nerves went away because it was super comfortable on stage. You could hear everybody across the board there. And I could hear everybody well. So even though it's this huge stage and we're probably spread out a little bit more than usual, that it felt like we were playing like a small club. It was so clear. And then you could hear our sound just going up the rocks. And again, I can hear myself, I could hear everybody on stage, and it felt like we were like this huge, powerful sound. And the nerves just went away after that. It's like, oh, this is super comfy. I think the part that I was most nervous about was that when we found out that we were doing this, then everything's going through my mind. We're like, yes, we're playing Red Rocks. But then is it going to be the same Red Rocks experience? Or is it going to be smaller speakers? Is there not going to be any monitors? Are they going to treat us like we're a local band? But as you're hearing throughout this conversation, no, it was like the full experience that any other rock band would have.
Well, and
going
I
through
think that I don't think we expected that. We did expect. I think as time went on, we expected the huge line array, we expected the big sound, all that kind of thing. I don't think we expected the video. I mean, the AV was absolutely amazing as far as like what they put on the screens. I mean, our mugs were on those big, huge screens the
just like
entire time.
But they have an entire. That's the thing, though, is that they have those guys and they do that for anything, no matter what, because that's their job.
But we didn't know what to expect,
So-
and boy, they did it. and it was as though we were anybody else. Multiple cameras up on the big screens. I would say that was probably one of the more kind of just exciting parts of it, is later on, like after the show, seeing the pictures that our family or our friends would send us of us on those big screens at Red Rocks. Maybe some folks way up at the top taking those pictures, and it was kind of surreal to see that.
I think it's important we take him. We've touched on this a little bit, but Brian's talking about nerves. We really need to give credit to Brian, because the logistical planning of this all and the amount of stress I know he had is hard to describe. And obviously we couldn't have done this without him. And I think, we're all aware of that, but
Yeah.
the rest of the world should be aware of it too, that Brian Person makes a lot of really cool things happen for the Martini Shot.
He does. So thank you, bro.
Yeah, amen.
Thanks, guys.
Because seriously, even just not only did he get the gig and, has been instrumental in continuously trying to make something like this happen, but then what happens when we have to pick out songs? Like, what are we going to do when we're going to whittle this stuff down? Who has this ticket? Who has that ticket? It's just a lot. So
We
thanks,
came
bro.
up with a set list. The team
Yeah.
did it.
But that helps your nerves right away, is that we did have the planning. It's good to have a soldier in your band. Hua. So we did have the planning from the very beginning, and then we started to rehearse. I felt like we were well rehearsed. We were
I agree.
rehearsed
Same
enough
here.
that if I was going to go in there, I was ready to handle it. The only thing would be breathing, relax. And when we were waiting to go on stage, I felt really relaxed.
I did
Agreed.
too.
Same
I
here.
felt good, and we had all the people that we love all around us,
Yeah.
which was even cooler.
Any
And-
nerves that I felt, I think were probably days before. Once we were there, I just was trying to take it in as much as I could.
Same here. The night before, I was more nervous just thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been thinking about it since the moment we found out we were doing this gig, but the night, I was sitting on my chair just watching TV, thinking about, what was going to take place in 24 hours, and I was more nervous then. I was thinking about it a lot, but from the time I woke up that day, and when you guys picked me up and we all just looked at each other and we had this look on our faces, we're like, you guys ready? We're going to get ready to do some Red Rocks? Yeah. And, it was definitely a surreal experience though, man. For me though, up until the time we went up on stage though, like Brick said though, I just felt so ready for it though. I just mentally prepared, and the nerves didn't even set in for me. I think we were just ready to go, man. And the time we spent rehearsing, was
Well, and I don't think we'd ever rehearsed that much, especially a set itself, and gone through it multiple times in other shows. So I think that really helped our nerves quite a bit, because we were ready.
Yeah.
We had everything set up, with the inclusion of playing the Pirates of the Caribbean theme song at the end and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we were ready, and this band has never rehearsed that hard. Never in 25 years.
We should do a podcast on that. I don't even think we've rehearsed that many times in
Probably not.
at least 10 years of our existence, right?
There was a point, I think Nicole said, "So is this what you do now? Do you guys practice?"
Yeah, because we never practiced, right? We were too busy. We played 50 out of 52 weekends a year. So we just showed up and we were like, hey, you guys know that song that we were talking about? Let's try it on stage right
Learning
now.
learners, man.
Yeah.
Make a CD and
Just
give it
do
out to
it.
everybody and
You
listen to it, learn it. We'll play it at the gig.
Yep.
That's
what
the
we
way it
used to do.
was.
And that is not how we handled this. We made sure that we were ready.
No.
know, but
Because it
we
was important to us.
Yeah,
Well, and we
understood it.
had timing that we had to be really conscious of, and I think we planned and we executed very well.
We wanted an excellent offering. And I think every musician who ever plays that stage always plays better that night than they did the night before or the night after. And I've seen bands where like I, followed them, and I wanted to see like I'd see them in one place and then go see them at Red Rocks like, the next night, or whatever. And everybody always saves their best for that venue.
We were forming the set list. So basically what we did was we took every song, every original that we'd want to play and every cover that we'd want to play. And it was like 2 hours long, 2.5 hours long. And we had to whittle that down to 45 minutes. So we'll get everyone's input and then we start deleting those songs to get us to 45 minutes. Okay, what's our top ones that we'd want to do? Originals and covers. And I remember getting to the point of, as we're whittling it down, I said, okay, do we want to play any country? And Greg says,
what did I say?
He said, I'll say exactly what he said. He goes, Bri, it's Red Rocks, not Red Country.
Red Country. I was like, did it say country? No, I didn't say country rocks. No, Red Country. Yeah.
Bri, it's Red Rocks, not Red Country.
Truer words have never been spoken.
yes.
That was horrible.
That could be edited, right?
Of course.
Oh, I hope we keep it in. That was great.
How cool was that TikTok post though that you found? And it was just like these two people we don't even know. They posted this TikTok video of they're talking about Bad Guy.
Yeah.
So Brian is the TikTok master of the band, and it just comes up on his TikTok, right?
Just found this
and
on TikTok.
So it's this girl. She's dressed up like a pirate because it was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And she goes, what I'd really like is if this band would just play Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. And it switches over to the other girl that is dressed up like a pirate. And she goes, come on, we're here at Film on the Rocks to see the Pirates of the Caribbean. This band's not going to play. And then they pan over to us and we're in the middle of Bad Guy by Billie Eilish.
Just random.
Billy, don't sue us. We didn't pay for the residuals. Yeah, all in all, an amazing day. And then, like I said, the next day, I feel like we cheated the system. Because, if you think about it, right? The next day was Weird Al Yankovic, okay, right? So, there's just people every single day, right? Yesterday, this weekend was Danny Elfman, and he was posting pictures. Everybody that you always see just post pictures. Primus, playing Red Rocks, they were posted. Their new drummer, John Hoffman, he was all into it because he'd never played there. He's, just started. And, you think about all those things. It's like everybody's on a bus who gets to play Red Rocks. They're on a bus for weeks at a time.
30 cities, crazy. Yeah.
Just insane touring, regiment and just, so hard, right? To go away from your family and your house and all those different things for that amount of time. And we just
You're right, we did cheat the
we
system.
cheated the system, dude. Because we just
drove up in my
we
truck
drove
and
up
went
there
home at night.
in 2 hours, got the first rate treatment, right? We didn't even talk about catering and how cool that was. Catering was great, the whole day, beautiful day, played the gig, hung out afterwards, still in the dressing room because we didn't want to leave, right? We didn't get kicked out, but we definitely waited till the last minute, right, to leave. And then, we're back doing our thing.
It's such a cool place and so formative. The first time I ever went to Red Rocks was with Andy and Ryan, C311. I was in high school. Mm-hmm. I think the third show I ever saw at Red Rocks, I was going to college and I met Brooke and Rob at Incubus.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's very cool.
Ooh, I know we've gone long, but we got to say, real quick, some of our favorite, moments in Red Rocks. And one of my favorite was Robbie and I, were waiting for, we were watching The Police and Elvis Costello. And in between Elvis Costello and The Police, we turned around and we saw Joe Sakic from the Avalanche. And, we got a picture with him. That was a cool moment. But the best one that I remember, other than the Rush shows that Greg and I and all those other, moments, those are amazing. But like one time, Robbie and I were watching Beastie Boys, and my friends called me and said, "Dude, we're like down in the front." They were like, and they grabbed us, and we saw their second set, like from the very front.
Dude, I think we saw.
Oh, we saw the
whole
front
show
first.
because
Yeah, the
we
whole
saw
show,
that
didn't we?
opener too.
And that was like one of the most amazing shows I've ever seen. And I've seen everybody up there, everybody from grunge to Grateful Dead, you know, like over the years, right? Heavy metal shows. I mean, but that Beastie Boys show, that was off the hook, man. What about you, Greg? What was your favorite?
Oh my God, I've seen so many shows there too. I mean, I have. When my brother was alive still, me and him and my nephew went to go see Pantera there, and
Wow.
that was quite the experience,
I
man.
bet.
I mean, it was. I mean, because they're so heavy, man. I mean, and you could see people at Red Rocks moshing down there, and I was like, "How are they? The people are getting hurt, man. How are they doing that? You know?"
Fall off.
Yeah. God, it was them. I've seen Iron Maiden there, like in the 80s.
Quintessential metal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the time, Iron Maiden was doing world tour for Power Slave, and they've already been all around the world, and they had already come through Denver. They played McNichols Arena, like I think in the winter sometime, you know, and they were on tour again, and then all of a sudden they announced they're coming to Red Rocks. So I didn't see the McNichols Arena show, you know, so I went to the Red Rocks show. So I saw them then, but they were already like 12, 13 months into their tour already. And Bruce Dickinson was still belting it out, man. I couldn't believe it that these guys are on the road that long and he's still singing like that. That just blew me away. Yeah.
Still singing like that when we saw him
Yeah.
a couple years ago. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's funny that you mentioned Iron Maiden because my first show was Chuck Mangione and Iron Maiden opened for him.
It feels so good.
Rest in peace,
Chuck Mangione.
Chuck Mangione.
Used to beat up Billy Joel when he went to the piano lessons.
And Greg always talks about one of his favorite Red Rock
The
shows.
Foo Fighters. Yeah.
He loves that G chord. Chung, 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 chung.
That was the night I became a Foo Fighters fan, though. Because I mean, I knew about the band and I knew that song definitely, but I wasn't really following them though. So I mean, I wasn't that much of a fan of theirs until like, Robbie. I think you're the one that had tickets, and me and Ryan went with you, and because you had a couple extra tickets, you know. So yeah, so I said, oh yeah, I'll go check these guys out, you know. But that we started playing that, man. I was just like. I was in amazement, man. They were incredible that night.
Mm.
And I became a huge Foo Fighters fan after that. And it was great. It was a great night, man. Ryan and I, Robbie, and it was just fun.
I'll never forget how magical seeing Rush at Red Rocks.
That was nuts. Yeah.
Was.
That was just incredible. Well, every concert I've ever seen there was incredible to me.
Mm.
You know, I mean, especially if I'm watching some of my favorite bands, you know, it was, I mean, the first show like I mentioned earlier, the Dio show, when the first time I ever, you know, set foot in Red Rocks, you know, watching a band play there, from that point on, I was just like, it was a dream of mine to play there. I'm just like, man, I got to play here someday.
I'm glad you said that because,
You know,
like,
I mean, I never ever thought it would ever happen.
I think we all had
that's crazy though. Yeah, because I remember being in a planter, like on the planter sides bar where the spotlights used to be.
Yeah.
Like as a teenager, I think it was Sting or somebody like that. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it was. And I just remember like watching this amazing moment where Sting's killing it, and I was just like, man, I wish I could play there someday. That'd be so cool.
Right.
One moment that I did want to just capture on this podcast, and Brooke did a great job of capturing it on his his glasses video or whatever he did. It was or
My Ray-Bans.
on the Ray-Bans, and or when we got the video from Red Rocks, which I do want to just say it was so professional because we were done with Red Rocks less than 24 hours, and Red Rocks shared the video of what they shot at Red Rocks less than 24 hours later. It was kind of amazing that they just, here you go, here's your show. Thanks for playing. But I did want to just point out, like, one of the coolest parts, I think, one of the biggest memories I will have, and I think some of you might agree with this, it was like something I really wanted to do, and I remember my mom saying, make sure you ask this. We wanted to ask, like, who actually came to see the Martini Shot play Red Rocks rather than just going to see the Pirates of the Caribbean. And so probably right before the show, I came up with the idea of, like, okay, here's the thought. So we were going to play a song of ours called This Highway. This Highway was written a long, long time ago. Ryan, that was what me and Ryan's probably first song we ever wrote together. And so I just said to the crowd, hey, we're really excited to be here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us before this movie. And I know we're really excited to see Pirates of the Caribbean. Are you guys excited to see Pirates of the Caribbean? Of course, the crowd goes nuts. And then I said, well, it's an honor for us to be here. We're going to play a song of ours called This Highway. And I'm just curious, who traveled up the highway from Pueblo and Colorado Springs to see the Martini Shot play Red Rocks? And the place went nuts. And it was like, wow, people did actually come up here to see their
us.
band play Red Rocks. And that was a quintessential moment for me.
Yeah, a couple of my most dearest friends, like, were in the audience, and I thought, you know, all the shows that I've seen with those, you know, friends of mine over the years and all the experiences that we've had, I thought that was really cool that they came and watched me experience it from a different way.
Absolutely.
You know, so yeah, I'm just really thankful.
This is a dream come true for us. To be able to play on this stage in front of you fine people. I do want to know, I know we're here for Pirates of the Caribbean, but can I get a little noise for any of our Martini Shot friends that make the travels up here to... Oh, yeah. We appreciate you being here. Like I say, it's a dream come true for us, and obviously a dream come true for us to be able to play some Martini Shot music at the historic Red Rocks. These next couple are a couple Martini Shot tunes you can find on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music and all those kind of streaming services. Little Martini Shot for you. It sounds like this.
We'd be remiss if we didn't say thank you to everyone that drove up for that performance. I mean, we're based out of Pueblo and Colorado Springs, and to make that drive through traffic on a Monday and to buy tickets and to come up there and support us in a dream of ours to play up there, and we really thank you. You know, we really appreciate that support. That made us feel even more comfortable on stage to be able to perform at such a incredible venue and a prestigious venue out there in the world. So, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you very much.
And I wish I could say I miss you. Bet you'd say the same too. Wish I could memorize this highway.
And that wraps it up for this episode of Confessions of a Wedding Band. Thank you so much for listening to our little experiment in documenting our stories. Check us out on all the socials with the handle @MartiniShotBand, and of course check out our website at martinishotband.com. This podcast is produced by all of us here at the Martini Shot and audio engineered by the man that has the proof that you can turn it up to 11, Mr. Steven Falsetto. Keep supporting local music in your community, and don't forget about your wait staff. Tip them, and tip them well. We'll see you next time.